Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is June the 7th, 2025. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is 6:30 p.m. there in Ukraine and Moscow. I can tell you today we're getting new information from President Zelenskyy, who sat down with ABC News in Kyiv, and he responds directly to the kids in the park statement by Donald Trump. I have that video for you. Additionally, about 1 hour ago, the SBU released new footage of Operation Spiderweb. I have that for you, and a huge warning coming in from Ukraine in regard to Russian false narratives and an attack on Ukrainian character. Want to share that with you. I've been sharing that actually news with Gertis for a couple of days, and I said it's coming, and today they go public with it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and commenting. As you can see in the title, Kids in the Park, I see two kids in the park, and they are right behind me. I think it's very applicable. Vladimir Zelenskyy did a phenomenal job responding in this interview to the horrific statement of two kids fighting in the park. And I need to explain to you why this was so hurtful to the Ukrainian people. It's very simple. First of all, they're not kids playing in a park. Second, do you know how many children, kids, have been killed in Ukrainian parks since the full-scale invasion began? Dozens and dozens. I can remind you of the latest one that was extremely documented was in Kryvyi Rih just a couple of months ago. Children killed while playing on the playgrounds. And we have the leader of the free world, Donald Trump, coming out and making the statement with Mertz. Mertz didn't say it. Trump said it. That they're just kids playing on the playground. We'll let them fight a little bit longer and then we'll do something, intervene. The most disrespectful comment that could possibly come out of his mouth was the kids in the park reference. And yes, Zelenskyy has responded. He sat down with ABC News. I even looked on ABC News website. Very little traction on this. Their YouTube video only has 30,000 views as of the recording of this interview. I'm playing the minute of it where President Zelenskyy responds to the question about kids in the park. So I'm going to ask you today to share this video. This needs to be seen because it's disgusting when you understand the Ukrainian perspective about kids in the park. Here it is.
President Zelenskyy, you speak so powerfully about the loss in your country and what your people have suffered. Do you think the president is getting that message when he says things like it's two children fighting?
Zelenskyy then telling us, and the president who is not living here, and it's not about President Trump, it's about any person who is not here in the country, who is some thousands of miles away, cannot feel fully and understand this pain. And this is why we are not kids with Putin at the playground in the park. This is why I am saying he is a murderer who came to this park to kill the kids.
Boom. Exactly what I was sharing with you. This is the Ukrainian response. This is Zelensky's response. We are not kids at a playground. A murderer has come to our playgrounds and is killing our kids. So yes, he tries to remain as respectful as possible and not call out directly Donald Trump. But let's be honest, it was Donald Trump who made that statement. No other leader in the world made that heinous statement. And now you understand. It's like Paul Harvey. And now the rest of the story. It's disgusting. Please share this. We need this message to get back to the White House and for people to understand how evil that phrase was to Ukrainian people. Now, let's go to something that's more interesting than Zelenskyy having to defend the park. How about let's go to let's switch gears now and go to something that is absolutely unbelievable. And that is, we are receiving further information and further data about Operation Spiderweb. President Zelenskyy himself today coming out and stating the truck drivers were Russians. So I'm sure you've seen the images. I didn't share them, of a truck driver killed with zip ties. He was a Russian. He said they did not know about their participation in Operation Spiderweb. Wow. He said Ukraine also used only our weapons, not equipment from the Allies' arsenal. You see, he's already putting it out there for when Russia puts the narrative, well, you know, it was NATO supplies inside Russia that attacked our nuclear carrying missile bombing big airplanes. It's all NATO doing it. Zelenskyy getting ahead of the curve and saying, no, just our weapons, our plan. And your truck drivers. How brilliant. But now, the SBU, just about an hour ago, released new video footage of this. You're going to see one of the drones come out of the truck, fly across the field, evaluate other planes that are burning. It's unbelievable. And there's no air defense. There's no defense. There's nothing. And I'll describe it to you as we're playing the video with the speed and all of these things. It's super, super, super cool. So this is a Special Operation Spiderweb. This is, you can see the drone come up out of the truck. He's heading toward the airbase. Over on the left, you can see it says 19-20 meters a second. I'll translate, or I'll extrapolate that for you. It's about 72 kilometers per hour. It's cooking. What's that, 50 miles an hour, 52 miles an hour, something like that? And I mean, down low on the ground, it's 60 meters off the ground. You can see that on the right. This is the official footage released. Batteries are all good, 120 volts. The amperage changing. GPS 3D fixed. Slowing down now to 8 meters a second. Now we are about 76, 77 meters high. Remember, this is being operated by a human being. 117 drones and 117 operators. It's evaluating, it's validating. Look at that plane burning. Guys, there's nobody standing around there to shoot that drone out of the air. Or maybe they don't hear it. I don't, there's no defense. So it's looking around, hunting. It's now 88 meters in the air. I think one of the purposes of this is not to do the strike, which you will see. Of course, the camera goes out before the strike, but it's to document, okay, what's burning, what's not burning, what's been hit, what's not been hit. Now it's coming down. Look at the right. You can see the elevation change, 65 meters, and the operator is bringing it down perfectly. Down to 50 meters. I believe it's chosen its target there. There, it's sitting right over the backside of that plane, and it strikes it. That is an official release from the SBU and Ukraine. At the same time, it came out when Zelenskyy said, listen, the details that I had given you about the truck drivers and also about utilizing only our equipment. Now, the third and final thing that we need in this morning update that you need to be aware of is this. Right now, there is a huge manipulation running. It will hit Twitter. It will hit other social medias. Please do not believe in it. This story has been cooking for about 3 days. I warned Professor Gertis in this a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday. I said, listen, you're going to see this come out. It is lies. So what has happened is a former Ukrainian deputy who left Ukraine in 2024, and now he is fighting against Ukraine through media, put out the story that Zelenskyy is refusing to return the dead bodies of Ukrainians as exchanged and agreed upon in Istanbul because he doesn't want to pay out the money to the families of those that have lost the heroes. That is all lies and manipulations. So today, Ukraine coming out and making this statement. The Russians are once again stating that Ukraine has refused to repatriate the bodies. Russian comments do not correspond to reality and the agreements reached, neither regarding the exchange of prisoners nor regarding the repatriation of bodies. The Ukrainian side provided clear lists in accordance with the categories agreed in Istanbul, while the Russians submitted others that did not comply with the agreed format. There was also an agreement on the repatriation of the bodies, but without a specific date. Instead, Russia resorted to unilateral actions. Once again, we have manipulation and speculation on sensitive humanitarian issues. Ukraine calls for an end to these dirty games. Let me make it very plain English now. There was not an agreed checkpoint or time. Russia operated on their own. They drove to the border place with all these trucks, sorry to just tell you the truth, with the frozen bodies of the Ukrainian heroes. And then they left and said, hey, Ukraine never showed up for the meeting, so they don't want to repatriate their bodies. So the fact is, Russia operated and acted on their own date, their own time, and their own place. Ukraine is repatriating the bodies, but they're doing it in accordance with the agreements in Istanbul, which Russia just blew out of the water so that they could create a fake, horrible narrative about President Zelenskyy. But I think we know, we've seen in the ABC News clip already today, the character of President Zelenskyy. Guys, thank you for being here. This is a video that needs to be shared, that SBU footage, but most importantly, that ABC clip's just not getting a lot of traction on ABC News. Help us spread that message. Thank you for being here, liking, commenting, sharing, turning your notification bell on. Lots going on right now, and we'll be back at you.